안녕하세요. 매일매일 운동하기를 실천하고 있는 동탄 왕호입니다. 원래 스트레칭이랑 스쿼트를 하고 턱걸이를 하려고 했는데 스트레칭을 하는데 너무 졸려서 야간 근무는 이 피곤함을 말로 표현할 수가 없습니다. 자, 일단 그래서 스트레칭 좀 더 하고 팔굽혀펴기 하려고요. 팔굽혀펴기도 요즘에 안 한 지 너무 오래된 것 같아서 팔굽혀펴기 하겠습니다. 혹시 운동할 때 CNN이죠?
We now know it is set for
오늘
Wednesday in the
햇빛
House.
날씨
Senate Minority Leader Chuck
햇빛이
Schumer
좋네요.
is looking at using a rare technique that would basically reconvene the Senate, and so that they could hold the formal impeachment trial, right, to convict before President Trump leaves office in 9 days. Manu Raju is out front on Capitol Hill. Manu, that obviously would be very significant because the House is barreling towards an impeachment vote. But everyone has sort of said, well, if you do that, then you got to wait until Biden takes office, and then the Senate has to decide when Schumer's in the majority. So what could happen here that would get that done before Inauguration Day?
Well, they would need support from Mitch McConnell, the current Senate Majority Leader, but McConnell is not indicating that he would get behind an effort for a quick trial. So, as a result, we're very likely looking at a trial that would begin when Joe Biden becomes president for the outgoing and former president Donald Trump. At that point, the Senate would have to vote to convict by a two-thirds majority Donald Trump, and if they were successful in voting, they also could prevent him from holding office ever again. But this is moving very quickly in the House. There's expected to be a vote on Wednesday to impeach Donald Trump on the charge of inciting an insurrection. Democrats believe that they have the votes. They are confident tonight that they do. They believe they'll get at least some Republicans to be on board. But most Republicans are opposed to this idea, including Kevin McCarthy, the House Republican leader, who just had a conference call with his colleagues and said that he prefers other approaches, including a bipartisan commission to study what went wrong. But Aaron, McCarthy did acknowledge on this conference call that he spoke with President Trump, and Trump himself acknowledged that he bore some of the blame for the violent riots here that killed 5 people, including that one U.S. Capitol police officer. We have not heard the president say that publicly, but privately he acknowledged that to Kevin McCarthy, who just revealed that to his members. But nevertheless, impeachment for the most part will mostly be Democrats pushing forward. We'll see if any Republicans get behind it as well, Aaron.
Right, and of course, publicly addressing the nation and all this at the beginning would have been the right thing to do, but that isn't what he did as he continued to fan the flames during that day and after. Thank you, Manu. All right, so for more than Democrats thinking in the House, since that's who's going to drive this process as they ready the impeachment vote on Wednesday, I want to bring in the Assistant House Speaker, Democratic Congresswoman Catherine Clark. Congresswoman, I appreciate your time. So Speaker Pelosi is giving Vice President Mike Pence 24 hours to respond. So once the resolution on the 25th Amendment is voted on, and that's set to happen tomorrow, so that would put you on track for the Wednesday vote. Obviously, we now know the Vice President and the President have now spoken, and it was amicable, we understand. Has there been any contact that you're aware of at this point between Speaker Pelosi and Vice President Pence?
None that I'm aware of, Aaron, and our focus remains on the dire threat that this president poses to our democracy, to our security, and the American people each day, each hour, each minute that he remains in the White House and as commander-in-chief. So we are going to move forward. We will ask once again that Mike Pence step up to his constitutional duty, invoke the 25th Amendment, and remove the president, because that is the fastest way to expel him from the presidency. But we will also move forward on Wednesday to impeach the president, to make sure that we are living up to our oath of office to protect this democracy and the Constitution.
So, Congresswoman, you do have enough Democratic votes, obviously. I mean, you got everything there. But have you spoken with any of your Republican colleagues who have told you directly that they will vote yes to impeach President Trump?
I have not heard any direct confirmation of yes votes, but I hope over the next days there will be some deep soul searching, because this is the call of history. As the speaker often quotes Thomas Paine, the time has found us, And the time has found these Republicans. They have told the American public a big lie about our elections that has resulted in horrific violence and put our very democracy on the edge. And so it's time. The way to unify and move forward is to speak the truth. And it is this time where they need to tell the truth about this election and move our country forward and preserve this democracy.
I want to ask you one question before we go. Congressman David Cicilline, who's one of the lead authors of this impeachment article, has received some pretty nasty, vicious, violent threats. Here are some.
You poked the bear this time, you little. You got 80 million people coming after you, you commie little. If you impeach him, civil war is on, buddy.
How concerned are you about those things happening?
I'm very concerned. We saw it play out. This is exactly why we are doing everything we can, Aaron, to remove this president. He incited this, and our colleagues who helped him spread this misinformation, who continue to tell this lie about our elections, they are responsible for this. We have to make sure that we are standing up for what is right and for the Constitution. And these are scary people, and their threats are real. They erected a gallows on the outside of the Capitol with a noose. They came to assassinate our leaders and members of Congress. And we have to take that as deadly serious as it is. But we also can't be afraid, because this is the moment where our responsibility is to the American people. We don't just get to keep a democracy. We also have to do the right thing, even when it's scary, even when it's hard, to make sure that we preserve our Constitution and this great American experiment.
Right. I appreciate your time, Congresswoman. Thank you very much. To the Assistant Speaker. And now to a House Republican who has just come out saying he is, quote, strongly considering impeaching the president. I want to bring in now Republican Congressman Peter Meijer of Michigan. Congressman, look, this is a tough moment for a lot of people on Capitol Hill, right? So I know this is hard for you to think about this, to get your mind around this. I know you're strongly considering impeaching the president. Why?
Honestly, Aaron, I had a break on Wednesday at around 4:17 p.m. after we had fled the House chambers, after we knew that at least one person had died. When we were in a secure location, we didn't know whether or not any of our colleagues were injured or killed. And the one person who could tamp down the rhetoric, the one person who could have put an end to that violence, the president, he put out that video that said, "We love you, you're special, come home." No condemnation, no urge to bring things back. To me, that was an abject failure of leadership, and something just broke then. That was the one opportunity he had to try to make things right.
그럼 못하겠어요.
The Capitol, when we had the number 1, 2, and 3 individuals.
근데 지금 영상을 찍기 전에 진짜
And he was completely.
영상을 찍기 전에 스트레칭이랑 복근 운동이랑 스쿼트를 조금 했습니다, 여러분. 그럼 스쿼트 10개만 하고 끝낼게요. 아 힘들어, 못하겠어. 여기까지 하겠습니다.